Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Welcome to Game Time with Hubb, your all-access pass to the hottest stories in football, basketball, boxing, and wrestling. Whether it's game-winning touchdowns, buzzer beaters, knockout punches, or jaw-dropping suplexes, we've got it all covered. Here's your host, Hubb.
Yo, what's good, y'all? You're locked into another episode of Game Time with Hubb, your home for football, basketball, boxing, and wrestling. Today, we're diving into two big stories. We got NFL talk with two of the biggest names in the game. They're both requesting trades. And we also got, tonight's the night. This is the big weekend for WWE. SummerSlam, the party of the summer, man. We're going to have some previews of the matches and probably a little break predictions. And I got a couple bold takes, so keep it loaded. But before we get started and jump right into these to the NFL stuff, breaking news out of WNBA. Celtics minority owner Steve Pagluccia has brought the Connecticut Sun for a whopping $325 million. They are expected to move to Boston by 2027. So more than likely, they're going to be playing at TD Bank Garden. So that's a bigger venue than what they play now. I believe they played the Mohegan. But this right here is huge because they already do play a few games every year at TD Bank Garden. So now that's more revenue coming in, more ticket sales for like the WNBA. That right there is major, man. So shout outs to Celtics minority owner for buying the Connecticut Sun. And look, I'll provide more info on that as we get it. Maybe that's a name change. But of course, they're going to go from Connecticut to Boston. But are they still going to be the Sun, or are they going to be named something else? So keep it locked here for that. I'll be breaking that as soon as I get that as well. But let's jump into the NFL, man. Listen, Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin, man, they both won out. Two of the biggest names are shaking the table, and they got front offices and fans on high alert. They got people talking about possible destinations. I got my own destinations where I think both of these guys can go. I'll get to that in a minute. But Micah Parsons has officially requested a trade from the Cowboys. He did that yesterday. Why? People ask why. Look, the talks broke down between Jerry Jones, Jerry Jones refusing to engage with Parsons' agent, which that's kind of shady right off the back for me. And then things got real when Jones publicly questioned Parsons' durability. I feel like that right there is disrespectful, and quite frankly, is really personal. Parsons is looking for, a deal around the $40 million range, and rightfully so. He really deserves to be paid that. That man is a certified game wrecker. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I feel like Jerry Jones has done some very shady business with other players. Des Bryant spoke out yesterday about some of the stuff and basically applauding Parsons about, him taking a stand. He said that's something, if he'd have had more knowledge of back then when he was playing, that's something that he would have done and basically been able to stick to his guns. But shout out to Michael Parsons, man, bro. Like, you know your worth. And hey, look, if things don't work out with you getting a contract in Dallas, I know you would like to stay in Dallas, bro. There's other teams out here that you can go to and you ain't got to deal with that hassle. And then we keep it within the NFC East. You got Terry McLaurin, over in Washington. He's done with being underpaid and overlooked, basically. He's entering the final year of his contract, and he wants to get paid like the top wide receiver that he is, in the $32 million per year range. No extension right about now. Like, he wants out. I just saw clips of him at Commanders camp, shaking hands with one of the owner. Maybe they got a deal in the works. Man, who knows? But he has requested a trade. Um, Me personally, I think Washington, just like the Cowboys, need to go ahead and pay these guys what they're worth. Like Terry McLaurin should be getting paid within the 30-32 range. You know what I mean? He should be getting paid like a top wide receiver, for what he brings to the table. This guy, he doesn't complain. He has been in Washington for so long. And Washington's saying because of age, he's only 29. Which is wild for me. I understand, age in NFL is a big thing, but this dude is still producing at a high level. He is your number one weapon for your quarterback over there, in Jaden Daniels. So why not continue to build around your star QB by keeping the star wide receiver happy and over there and help bring along other guys in that system over there in Washington. You got a Luke McCaffrey over there that's up and coming as well. You got Debo Samuel, whatever shell of Debo is left, like having him with Terry McLaurin is going to be good, and it's going to help out your quarterback. So that's like where I'm at. Do I think both of them stay? More than likely, yes. But I also got some possible trade destinations for both, and we'll jump into that right now. For Micah Parsons, man, look, one of the teams that I'm looking at because I'm just thinking about like, hey, like where his impact will be at. First on my list is the Baltimore Ravens. You plug him into that defense, man. Look, it's scary hours for that entire AFC and perhaps the NFL in general. I think plugging him into that to that defense, it really moves the needle for them to be in that conversation. They're already in that conversation of the top three teams in the AFC alongside Kansas City and also the Buffalo Bills. But adding somebody like a Micah Parsons, who is a game wrecker, QB killer, you know what I mean? Like that might put Baltimore over the hump to become the kings of the AFC. Next on my list is the Detroit Lions. And I know a trade within the NFC, especially with a caliber player like Micah Parsons, is less than likely. But having Parsons and Dan Campbell's system over there with Aiden Hutchinson, that's just complete violence. That's going to be violence on Sundays. That's another place where I would like to see him go. Next on my list is back over in the AFC with the Houston Texans. Now, D'Amico Ryans could really unleash Michael Parsons inside that defense, and they could really make some noise over there in the AFC, and he'll stay in Texas, and that right there would be crazy because Cowboys fans would be looking at what he's doing and being like, you know what? We could have still had that if Jerry wasn't bugging. You know what I mean? And then back over here in the NFC, you got the Seahawks. They really do need a defensive leader. And Parsons could fit that bill over there. Hey, that's another nice destination. And last on my list is the Chicago Bears. They got the cap space, and you pair him with somebody like Montez Sweat. That's another, just like pairing him with Hutchinson over there with the Lions. That's like QB nightmares every week for Chicago, and Chicago got the cap space to make it done. The Lions, on the other hand, they could make it work. They just got to figure it out within their cap. But Chicago, with their cap space, and Montez Sweat, Michael Parsons combo is crazy. So for Terry McLaurin, I'm looking at right off the back the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Terry McLaurin. What else? What else can I say? You know what I mean? Or you can move over still. You go back to the NFC. You got the Carolina Panthers. I know they up and coming, but you pair him with an Xavier Legette, and that could be a dynamic 1-2 punch. Pittsburgh over here in the AFC, Aaron Rodgers, strong culture with the Steelers in general, and you pair him with DK Metcalf. That'd be crazy. And that right there, alongside, they already got a nice solid defense over there. You give Aaron Rodgers another weapon. I know Aaron Rodgers is not what he used to be, like the Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers, but he still got some type of juice left. You pair him with a DK Metcalf over there, Pittsburgh will become a very, very dangerous team. Next on my list is the New England Patriots. Now you pair him with Stephon Diggs, and you really can give that offense in New England a lifeline. Does that make them playoff contenders? Probably so. New England is always known, even though I know Bill Belichick era, and then, even last year, I believe they still might have had a top 10 defense, but New England is known to have a nice solid defense. It's just the offensive side of the ball that's been having issues over the past couple years since the Tom Brady era has ended over there. But if you give your young quarterback in Drake May, receivers in Stephon Diggs and Terry McLaurin, you already got a Pop Douglas over there. Listen, they can make some fireworks in New England too. New England also has cap to go ahead and offer the extension, for Terry McLaurin. Another team on my list is the Atlanta Falcons. They're building around Michael Penix. That would be a big step to add somebody like a Terry McLaurin over there. Sleeper for me would be the Kansas City Chiefs. They always have issues at wide receiver with injuries and stuff like that. Adding in somebody like a Terry McLaurin will be huge over there for Patrick Mahomes, the with Travis Kelce's. I was going to call him Jason. I'm so used to seeing both of them guys on their pod, but adding an extra weapon over there for Mahomes will be major to get them back to their championship glory, which they are seeking. So that's like, I'm a Patriots fan, so I would like to see him go to New England, but I doubt that's going to happen. It's a lot going on over there. That right there is another topic for another podcast, and I ain't going to get into. I refuse to have a Homer-based podcast, so hey, but I would, I do think that is a good fit for him over there because they do need another wide receiver. I'm not 100% trusting in Stephon Diggs coming off a ACL tear and being 100% for the season. But if you add in a Terry McLaurin and have your Stephon Diggs as like the two over there, and you got a Pop Douglas in the slot, everything's on Drake May to go get it done because you will have the weapons that you need to go out here and be successful. So, we're going to keep our eyes on this storyline here, with these two high profile players. If either guy gets moved or they get their extensions, look, I'm gonna be here to call it out, break it down. But if any one of them gets like moved to any one of these teams or somewhere else, it's definitely going to shake up the league. I'm quite sure Howie Roseman over in Philadelphia probably started kicking on the doors, even though they within the same division. That's just how they operate over there in Philadelphia. So I wouldn't even be surprised you see something crazy like that. But I doubt that either team would trade within their own the vision with guys like that. Like that'd be insane. My prediction, if they do get moved, I feel like both would be moved out into the AFC. You know what I'm saying? So we'll keep it locked and loaded for that. So moving on, man, let's talk about SummerSlam. My wrestling fans, this is all our weekend here. SummerSlam is a 2-night banger this year, first time ever. The card is stacked. Let's go. Let's break it down. Let's give some predictions. So night one, they're gonna have Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Listen, it's heart versus horror. Karrion Kross has been a menace, man. Like he has been on Sami Zayn for a while now, for months. So I think this is the last match of their feud, more than likely. Karrion Kross been telling Sami Zayn it's something deep inside you that needs to come out, basically for Sami to turn heel. It worked if you look at what the New Day is doing. So who knows, man? The only person didn't work on was AJ Styles so far. So who knows if it works here for Sami Zayn or not. My prediction in this one, I think this is a win that Karrion Kross must get. So I think that, for him to get his push, maybe he does get the win here tonight. So that means if he wins, I think he has to I think Sami Zayn has to like confess that Cross was right or something like that. Um it's some type of stipulation, but this match should be pretty good. The next match on this card is um the Judgment Day defending the women's tag team titles against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Raquel Rodriguez. You know what? Um, I think i- it'd be cool to put the belts on Bliss and Flair. So like, I think they're gonna go ahead and win, but I also think this is gonna start the more fraction within the friction within Judgment Day here. WWE, they love putting the gold on Charlotte. But I think that'd be cool because they're doing the "we're not friends" angle over there with them. But Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, they started building some type of like tag team chemistry over here. We know that Liv Morgan is out, but when Liv Morgan returns, like we all know, everything is going to break down even more because Liv's probably not with Roxanne Perez being over here in the Judgment Day and then holding on to one half of the tag team titles, and let alone if they go ahead and lose them tonight. Liv will more than likely blame Perez for that. And who knows how everything else is going to shift in the Judgment Day. You see Finn Balor, if you ever look at him, he's basically playing like the little strings of the whole thing. So I'm looking to see that starting to crumble starting tonight. Um, and you got a tag team match. Another tag team match is Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. You know what? I think here, you know what I mean, we're gonna see some RKO's. We look. I think this might be a nice sleeper match. I don't really expect much out of Jelly Roll here, but I do think that Orton and Jelly Roll gets the win. We might see Logan Paul eat a RKO. That'll make the whole crowd go nuts up there in MetLife. Yeah, so I got them winning. Then we got a whole bunch of tag team matches. We have This will be the final tag team match of the night. So you got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. You know what? This match is gonna be kind of tricky here because look, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, those are my guys, but I do think Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed win. But then I don't know because Bronson Reed took that man Jordans. But you know what I mean? So, but this storyline has to go get a little bit bigger. But I just pull it out and just say they going to get the win with Breaker and Reed. I feel kind of Heyman still carries around the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I'm thinking later on tonight, either Seth Rollins, we know that he's out hurt, but we don't know if the storyline hurt. Is he hurt out for a long time, as they're saying, or is it just like he just need a couple weeks to heal when he comes back out tonight, cash in that briefcase? Or would it be crazy if Braun Breaker somehow took the briefcase and cashed it in? He's been kind of like getting more vocal on the mic over the past couple weeks, basically saying like this is his time and this stuff like that. So maybe that might be something to keep an eye on. But Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, I think they need this win more so than Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. I think it'll help boost them up a little bit. But also you can have them win, and this could really elevate this storyline to have some single matches down the road. You could have a Braun Breaker versus a Roman Reigns type deal. So I'm looking forward to that and see how Paul Heyman is going to try to weasel his way into this one. He already started on Monday with talking to Jay Uso about, oh, what's your family and this, that, and the other, and trying to basically try to start pulling the strings to pry Roman Reigns and Jay apart. So it's gonna be a lot to look forward to in that matchup tonight. I'm looking forward to that one. Then we got the women's championship tonight with Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. Look, the Glam Queen versus the Powerhouse is Tiffy time. Listen, Storm versus Tiffy time. My prediction: it's time to put the belt on Jade. You know what? Like, let her cook tonight. I think Tiffany Stratton's title run has been a bit stale. I think you put the belt on Jade. I'm not sure who she can really uh rival with after this. I know it'll be not Nia Jax right off the bat. Maybe you might see a Charlotte. That might be good because they've been kind of teasing that ever since like Charlotte came back with their face-to-face time and all that. So yeah, I'm looking to see Jay get the W tonight. Maybe you might see a Bianca Belair show up. Maybe she might turn heel. Everybody's projecting. I don't know. It's I don't know, man. I don't know. Then you got the main event of the evening, man. You got Gunther versus CM Punk World Heavyweight Championship. Now it's gonna be Gunther's dominance versus CM Punk's hunger for redemption. My prediction here, especially reading that Gunther got like a nose injury that he might be needing some time off. I'm thinking CM Punk wins the title. And, listen, I think this is going to be Punk's moment, that he's going to take a beating during the match, but he's going to walk out with the gold. And like I said, be mindful the Money in the Bank cash in the night. Or maybe within the next couple of pay-per-views that it gets cashed in, because something just don't feel right. And I'm thinking like normally they will put the Roman Reigns match as the main event since he is the top draw. And I know people on the internet was like, when they were talking about it, and they were like, the Roman's match shouldn't be the main event. And I'm like, well, he's the top draw, so of course. But I believe that they had announced that the World Championship match is going to be the main event. So I'm expecting some type of swerve tonight. Something is going to go down that it's going to be like, you might see Seth pop out and cash it in on CM Punk. Or to be crazy if Braun Breaker steals the briefcase and come out and cash it in. That'll just blow everything up, and the whole world will be buzzing on that for the entire weekend going into tomorrow night for night 2. But that'll be a good way to end the night, even though people want to see CM Punk with the belt. But it'll be crazy if you get a cash in the night. That right there be wild. So moving on to night 2. So we got the TLC tag match, with the Wyatt Six, DIY. You got the Motor City Machine Guns. You got the Street Profits. You got Andrade and Ray Phoenix in this joint. You got Fraxium as well. My prediction in this one, man, I'm thinking it's gonna be Andrade and Ray Phoenix. I feel like, and it's a TLC, so I'm looking for Andrade and Ray Phoenix to really Andrade, Ray Phoenix, Fraxium, and Montez Ford. I'm looking for these guys right here, these guys I'm mentioning, to steal the show tonight and give us some highlight reels all for this TLC. I'm old school, so look, my TLC is Edge, Christian, Dudley Boys, and the Hardys. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking like we look, we gonna see some fireworks tomorrow night. I do think that Andrade and Ray Phoenix gonna get the win and become the new tag team champions over there in SmackDown. The next match that I got over here is Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria for the women's IC title. No disqualification. I think that Becky Lynch gonna retain this one, but I think Lyra's gonna put on a show, improve herself in this joint. Gonna be explosive. But Becky walks out with the gold. Keep an eye on Bayley because she's been going through this I don't know who I am stage. Maybe she gets her hands dirty in this one and causes Lyra the title tomorrow night. And then we got for like the men's intercontinental title. Listen, we got Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles. My prediction on this one, and I'm hoping is AJ Styles get the win. Let this man have another run with a title. Maybe Dom's run ends here. And plus it plays into the whole Judgment Day thing with, oh, well, you lost the belt. Finn and JD over there, the only ones with titles now, because like I said, I predicted that Roxanne Perez and Rodriguez is going to lose the belt. So maybe. But I think is AJ Styles going to restore the prestige of the Intercontinental title moving forward. Give that man one final run with the title. Then we got our next title for the US title. We got our next match. Steel Cage, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. My prediction, this one going to be a brawl, but I think Jacob going to win. Get back his US title. We got some people are mumbling on the social media because you seen Rikishi had to drop out of the WrestleCon in Newark as well as Haku. They both are not attending the WrestleCon over there. So people are thinking maybe they show up at SummerSlam and be involved in some type way in this match. That'd be crazy. And then we got the women's world heavyweight title, which is Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. Look, these are three of the best women in the game right now. I feel like, look, my heart's saying Rhea Ripley gonna win. What I'm getting tired of picking Rhea and it be like she falls short. I thought she was gonna win at the last pay-per-view, but it didn't happen. There was a banger, and then Naomi cashed in on her. Look, I feel like Naomi's going to retain the belt here, and that leads to Clash in Paris against Stephanie Valkyria. But it'll be nice to see Rhea Ripley in that spot. I don't think Io's going to win, but I think Io's going to give us the highlight reels in this match. This match is definitely going to be a banger. I think between this match and the TLC match might be the two best matches of this card of night 2. Then that leads us over here with the main event of night 2 for the undisputed WWE title, which is a street fight. John Cena, the Never Seen 17, going up against Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Legacy versus Destiny in this one. My prediction here is that Cody Rhodes win and he turns heel. I say that because if you watch SmackDown last night, you saw the first 15 minutes of the show was John Cena and Cody Rhodes, and Cena basically turned face. Now, I don't know if that's a swerve to get us hooked until tomorrow night, but Cena turned face last night. And he gave us with the, you want some, come get some. It just like, but Cody's demeanor through the whole promo was more like and he was like smiling and like, it felt like we about to see a heel turn here. And John Cena basically tossed The Rock and Travis Scott under the bus. We know Travis Scott no longer with WWE. But basically, Cena was like, look, like, they got me to do things that I didn't want to do. There was guys that was with me that they not even with me no more. They're not even here. Basically, like, I don't want to ruin wrestling. He told the fans that. He said he don't know who's going to win on Sunday night, but the one that's really going to win is going to be the fans. He celebrated afterwards. He dapped up the kids in the crowd. He held the belt the right way. It just felt like we about to see old John Cena. He said by him getting thrown through a table and signing that contract that he didn't even know he signed, it forced him to become himself again. So we don't know what that means, or it could just be a swerve. It could just we see Super Cena and he still be a heel. I don't know. But this morning on his Instagram, he posted a baby face. He posted a little baby smiling. So it's like everybody's putting it together. Oh, he's baby face. It could be that, or it could be just him just playing us. I don't know. But I think Cody Rhodes walks out with the title and turns heel. I would like to see John Cena keep the belt and basically drop the belt in December before he's done. But I don't think that's going to be the move here. I think we're going to see a heel Cody Rhodes after this. And a heel Cody Rhodes is best for business. I'm going to just be honest. Because he kind of gives you them vibes that he's a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he comes out in the suit and all that. You know, typical, like, heel as you think about, like, Ric Flair and all that stuff. Those are the kind of vibes that I get off of Cody Rhodes when he come out here with the little suits and all that stuff on and try to be clean cut. But, hey, I feel like Cody Rhodes going to win back the title tomorrow night. So, we don't know, man. You know, and we're going to get that heel turn. It's going to be, we're going to have a double turn. Like, it's going to be wild, man. So, those are my predictions for SummerSlam Night 1 and Night 2. You know, I just gave you all the full breakdown. We had, you know, NFL news heating up with Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin both wanting out. SummerSlam is going to blow the roof off of MetLife tonight. Cardi B's hosting for night 1. You know what? And we got the Connecticut Sun being sold. You know, they'll be moving to Boston by 2027. Hey, man, look. Sports world never sleeps. Right now, we got WNBA action on. And like I said, the kickoff for SummerSlam has started at p.m., so that's already on. We're getting ready for 6 p.m., man. So we'll be back to break down each of these nights on the next pod and give thoughts and opinions. So that's it. So in the meantime, man, tap in with me at Game Time with Hubb on YouTube, on Facebook, Hubb Legacy on Instagram and TikTok. You know, Game Time with Hubb can be listened to on all your podcast platforms. So make sure that you follow, share, rate the show. You know, let me know your takes on tonight for, you know, SummerSlam night 1 and tomorrow night 2. Let me know what you think about Micah Parsons and Terry McLaurin, man. Do you think they going to get traded? Do you think they get a contract? You know, let me know what you think about WNBA news. You know, the Connecticut Sun being sold to Boston. Is that a huge move? So you know what? This has been Hubb. This has been Game Time with Hubb, baby. And I'll catch y'all after the final bell, man. Until then, man, peace.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Game Time with Hubb. Make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss Game Time action. See you next time.